What is happening, Ron? Welcome back to BITASSIST. In today's episode, we look at Ontology Network in 2018. Do excuse the sunglasses, but it's a beautiful Friday morning here in England, and there's some major glare, so I've had to pop these on to continue this intro. But yes, we're going to look into Ontology Network in 2018. Going to look at some of their achievements over the last months, also including its recent listing on Upbit, and of course its partnership with NAGA. We're also going to do what we enjoy, a quick price speculation for Ontology Network in 2018. So stick around to the very end for that. So coming right up, Ontology Network in 2018. Welcome back to BITASSIST, everyone. As the name suggests, we're here to assist you in understanding Bitcoin, altcoins, and of course cryptocurrency in general. I'm Maximilian, your crypto broker. And I'm very excited today to bring you a review on Ontology, one of the best performing cryptocurrencies of the last month. And first of all though, if you're new here, thank you for joining us. But a quick shout out to our subscribers and anyone that's liked and commented our content over the last month since we started. Really grateful for that, and it's been very exciting to see this channel growing at the rate that it has. To all of you that are new here today, again, thank you for joining us. If you're looking for coin reviews and market reports by a cryptocurrency broker and analyst, then please do. You'll see at the bottom corner a little round red circle. That's, of course, a subscribe button. Go ahead and subscribe there. And if you've enjoyed this content throughout, go ahead and give us a like, and we would really appreciate that. Let's dive straight into Ontology then, and, of course, some of the price action for today. So, Ontology right now at around $9.53, down just over 3%. Ontology recently has had some incredible price actions, so this is perfectly normal for it to slowly but surely take some profits or trace backward. If we look at the 24-hour volume, a massive $249 million, which is incredibly high and very healthy. It just shows the major interest in the market for this cryptocurrency. It's also very excitingly just recently broken a $1 billion market cap. Now, this is quite a big achievement for a fairly new cryptocurrency, which has only just been released. If I remember, around 8th of March it hit the market after its airdrop to Neo holders and alike. So yeah, that's incredibly exciting, and I think this is just the start for this cryptocurrency. But today, it's just broken over $1 billion. That makes Ontology ranked at around 29 in the market. So it's slowly but surely making its way up the coin market cap rankings. And I think one day this is definitely a top 15, maybe even a top 10 cryptocurrency with its relations to Neo and others. Quickly, we're looking down here at the price action. As I said, got listed after the airdrop early March, let's say plus minus around $1.30, and since then it's just been looking really healthy. Like, guys, this is one of the nicest looking graphs I've seen in a while when I come on to CoinMarketCap. And if you look down here as well, some really decent volumes throughout, so it's never really just been forgotten. What tends to happen with when new cryptos list, they have serious volume, people get over it, they take their profits, and it's forgotten. But Ontology is a very serious project with a lot of potential. So that's the price action for today. So if you guys want to come check that out, maybe a good time to pick up Ontology in the coming weeks. Maybe a little bit overvalued and overbought right now. Anyway, so what is Ontology in a nutshell? So Ontology is a new public multi-chain project and distributed trust collaboration platform. Ontology's first projects are now live on GitHub, so if you are a fan of GitHub and you'd like to look at the code, pop over there. They've got some really cool recent developments to check out. If we just quickly read you their opener, Ontology is a new high-performance public blockchain project and a distributed trust collaboration platform. Ontology provides new high-performance public blockchains that include a series of complete distributed ledgers and smart contract systems. Ontology blockchain framework supports public blockchain systems and is able to customize different public blockchains for different applications. Ontology supports collaboration amongst chain networks with its various protocol groups. I'm going to come back to the website and give you some more detail here. Mainly going to speak around some of their modules, which I've actually covered in a previous episode a few weeks ago. But OntID, OntData, and OntScores, all really clever projects or modules and protocols. But what I want to do first is quickly just give you some insight into the founding company of Ontology, which is Onchain. So Onchain is the founding company of Ontology. What is Onchain, and what have they done to help build Ontology? So, founded in 2014, Onchain designs and develops blockchain solutions for business. The company envisions large-scale adoption of distributed ledger technology across private and public sector organizations, and has worked steadily to make this goal a reality. Onchain's distributed network architecture, DNA, its first major project, focuses on digital asset applications and supports business in multiple ways. Okay, so guys, this is basically a not necessarily a VC firm, but a massive organization that are looking to establish public blockchains solutions for business. So you can rest assured that Ontology has great backing and has a team of serious developers. Keep in mind that the majority of Ontology's developers are from Onchain. If you just want to look over here, developer, here we go. I think there's a team of around 70 odd developers have come from Onchain. And is described a little bit better in this article I want to show you now. So this is an article that's just recently come out from Hashed, which is a brilliant place to read about cryptocurrency, great journalism there, and an interview with the founder of Ontology, Lee Jun. So I'm going to take you through this. There's some really nice information here coming directly from the horse's mouth, as they like to say, from the founder. So Lee Jun is the founder of Ontology. Lee has a rich academic background, including a bachelor's degree in computer science, master's in communication engineering, MBA, and PMP. He is a senior blockchain architect and blockchain solutions professional with 16 years work experience in IT and fintech. Lee previously provided technical architecture, management, and planning support for top international IT firms and major Chinese financial exchanges. So this guy's well equipped to build a long-standing and what am I going to say when I say long-standing and influential blockchain. And this is what we really want to invest in, is influential projects and long-term projects, because almost certainly if the project's around for the next 2 years, you're going to make some serious gains. So always do keep this in mind. Okay, so moving on, you guys can also watch a little intro here if you want. I'll leave this in the description for you guys. Okay, so how and why did you start Ontology? Onchain has been working on blockchain solutions for business and even has public chain experience. We figured out permissioned private blockchains are not usable in large scope systems. When you want to build a public platform, public chains are the best choice. However, currently public chains experience permission issues, which mean they cannot serve certain scenarios. We therefore saw the need for a new public chain that can be flexible in both performance and applicable scenarios. So Onchain, or mainly Ontology, are all about like this a trustless and a trust mechanism to public blockchains, and have been working, of course, with Onchain to develop this. So there was another great piece of data down here. It says, can you describe your team? How many engineers do you have in your team? So Onchain is the founder company of Ontology. So the core team of Ontology is mostly from Onchain at this moment. The core team is currently around 70 people, and more than 50 of them are technical engineers. However, the core team will continue to grow, and the Ontology team will involve more communities, including external technical communities and institutional technical partners to support the development of Ontology. Also, they are open source, so there will be a lot of people that will be assisting this project, a lot of developers. They will actually also be releasing dApps in the future, and I can guarantee that because they mention it in this article. Okay, so in terms of partnerships and all the rest, how is this going for Ontology? Since the Ontology deals with various industries, broad partnerships with centralized industry, i.e. finance and medical institutions, seem of course very important. Are there updates on business partnerships? So the founder goes on to say, we have a business development team working on these partnerships. One part is service providers like identity verification, which is huge. I think Ontology are right at the forefront of getting the identity game right, which in my opinion is going to be one of the major breakthroughs of this year, if it is to happen in 2018. Where we will link several identity verification services in China and globally. Companies are also discussing with us to build decentralized services on Ontology. We will announce these partnerships after our mainnet is released. So, you know, they're well on their way to building really great partnerships with, yes, centralized services, but big financial institutions, medical institutions, and I'm also, of course, helping other decentralized blockchains for maybe identity and trustless services. Okay, so moving on is, what is the exact function of the ONT token, which is the native token to Ontology Network? So Ontology has a dual token model, which is great. I do like the dual token model. ONT and ONG are bound together, but ONG will be released periodically. I don't believe ONG is available just yet. ONG is for utility, for example, for running smart contracts and storage in Ontology. ONG used on the platform will not be returned to the holder, so it is not a security. You can use ONT to join the POS process by becoming a validator and be rewarded in ONG for validating transactions. So it's much like you know, gas and things like that, but unlike gas, you know, you earn gas through Neo for staking. I think with Ontology, you like verifying transactions on the Bitcoin network, you get rewarded Bitcoin. If you are verifying or being a node on the ONG network, Ontology Network, you are rewarded in ONG tokens. And considering the price rise of Ontology over the last 2 months since its release, you know, it wouldn't be a surprise to me to see ONG, once released, to do very well as well. I did suggest early on when we looked at the Ontology website a few of their modules, you know, ID, data, and all the rest. So they do mention the ID here, which I think is, of course, the most important breakthrough of this year, if it is to happen. It says OntID is a distributed identity framework. That means every entity can link their identity information from different sources and with verify them different verification services. This allows you to build your own digital identity and verify it, and means identity verification does not have to depend on one or a select few centralized organizations to provide identification services. So, you know, I've been involved in cryptocurrency since 2013. I mainly, like a lot of the people that I met in that time, joined this movement because of decentralization. However, since then, you know, decentralization has, you know, gone to the background, and it's been more about speculative investments, which, don't get me wrong, I've got nothing against that at all. I'm a broker after all, so, you know, this is okay. However, I do think for us to look back into decentralization, we need to have some ID on the blockchain. That way, you know, we don't need to use the centralized exchanges or centralized services to onboard ourselves to purchase cryptocurrency and use it. We'll be able to use a decentralized identity network or framework. That way, we'll never have to ever touch a centralized service, which to me is win-win. Moving on though, so yes, as I suggested, I do believe there will be dApps, new dApps coming out on Ontology. The question is, are there any dApps that are planning to develop on Ontology? He says, yes, there are currently several dApps that are planning to work with Ontology. Some even want to build their own business chain with Ontology. So this is very exciting if you're an ontology holder. dApps create network effects, guys. If you're unfamiliar with the word, basically it allows for your project or your blockchain to broaden its network. Of course, if there's dApps and there's people using it, and there's people using it a lot, and there's a high velocity of it being used, the natural network effects is going to spread wider, and with higher network effects and higher velocity of use, ultimately it increases in price. And at the end of the day, a lot of us are in this space to be rewarded financially. Don't worry, so am I, to be fair. Okay, so there's one or two other great questions I do want to cover here as well. He does touch on Ontology's identity system again here. But let me move on to this question here. It says, what do you think about Chinese regulation on blockchain, and how do you think it will affect Ontology? In China, regulation is necessary to protect individual investors, since it's difficult to recognize what are good projects and how to avoid scams. Ontology did not take any funding from individual investors, and we do everything to meet regulation in China and in different regions globally. So, as I've touched on previously, Ontology did, yes, do an airdrop, which I really like the idea of airdrop, especially from a big company like this, which has obviously got a lot of money already on chain, which is the founder. Why would they need to go and raise even more money from, speculative investors like all of us that actually don't give two SITSs about the actual technology? All we want is a good return. So airdrop it to people, and if they like the project, they're going to sell it, and it kind of makes its own price, which I like, and I think is a great way forward. So yeah, so that's kind of a great article from Hashed and from the founder of Ontology, just giving you a little snippets of information from that. Next, I'm going to move you on to Ontology's, I would say, achievements in April. They've done a huge amount, so I'm excited to bring you through these. Okay, so they've obviously brought on some new team members. They've released some new source code to GitHub. They've updated their roadmap as well, which I'll show you later. And they've also released a great article when it comes to their consensus mechanism, VBFT. We're not going to cover that today because I did read through the article and it is very in-depth and can be quite confusing, to be fair. So we'll maybe do that on one particular episode another time. When it comes to partnerships, they've obviously brought on what it looks like a lot of venture capital. So I'm not going to try and pronounce that, but that's a venture capital company. Danhu Capital, Matrix Partners China, Zen Fund, Tembusa Partners, obviously Hashed, and now, of course, they've always been involved with Onchain, the founding company. So, as you can see here, when I see VC companies, running and throwing money at these sort of, not necessarily throwing money, but partnering with particular blockchains, it's only good news to me. So, this is really great, and well done to Ontology Network for bringing on new partners. So, what is more important than money? Not very much, but obviously family and friends. But when it comes to the blockchain, more important than money is actually the community. Because without the community, ladies and gentlemen, you aren't going to raise any money, and you aren't going. Your coin cannot be traded. So the community growth for Ontology Network has been very, very good throughout the last few months, but especially great through April. So the Telegram group grew by 11%, currently at around 29,000. Keep in mind that's mainly their Western speaking Telegram group. In China, of course, they've got a whole lot of other ways of chatting about blockchain. And then, of course, the Discord has grown roughly around 14%. Remember, these figures might be a little bit different today. This is about a few days after the release of this. Twitter up at around 42,000 followers, which is very, very healthy. And then Facebook at around 3,000 followers. So, as you can see, people are following this project and like interacting with it, which to me is very important. If I could just give you my 2 Satoshis, I really look into first the team, to be quite honest with you, because I invest in teams, being an entrepreneur myself, and seeing other entrepreneurs that at the end of the day you're investing in the human, and the human's going to make a success of the project. And then secondly, I look at the community, and of course community is very important, because without the community you don't really have too much at all. If we continue on, so when it comes to community activities, and what they've done throughout the April, says newsletter subscription airdrop was 8,954,000 ONT. The Neo DevCon airdrop was 197,000. Neo Holder airdrop was 10 million. And then of course the bug bounty is still upcoming. Now this was the airdrop that they did over the last month and a bit, giving away free tokens pretty much. I got a few when it came to holding Neo, and I ain't selling these, not a chance. When it comes to the development progress of April, they got a lot done. Underlying structure, they've been working on the SDK development, which I'm sure will be used by some of these dApps in the future. Smart contract development framework. When it comes to the front end, smart contract preview version. Obviously, as I suggested earlier in the movie, the GitHub documentation update as well. So if you like GitHub, go pop over there to see what their entries are like. So yeah, that's a quick, in a nutshell, of what's happened throughout April for ONT, or Ontology Network. I'm quickly going to show you the really exciting news that just happened the other day, and that Ontology was listed on Upbit. So we saw an enormous rise, literally vertical rise in volume, and of course price rise. And to be fair, I think they totally deserve to be listed on Upbit, and I'm sure with future listings this coin will only go further up. Ontology also just recently released a partnership with NAGA. I actually met the NAGA team in London at the Blockchain Summit maybe 4 months ago now. Very, very big project, and also they're actually listed on, their founding company is actually listed on the German stock exchange. So they've got really close connections to the legacy system, and right now we do kind of have to stick quite close to that before we have what we like to call it. What do we like to call it? I'm going blank now, guys. Anyways, let's move on. But yeah, I think that's only good to see more and more partnerships coming out of Ontology. Quickly, if you don't know what NAGA is, I'm just going to give it you in a nutshell here. This is from Ontology Networks Medium page. It says, big news in the crypto world. Ontology and NAGA have announced the start of a long-term strategic partnership to commence a significant, powerful change in business operations and bring the Ontology infrastructure to the massive financial technology markets. Basically, Jun Lee had to say this. He's like, we are happy to welcome NAGA to build up the application ecosystem through wielding Ontology's next generation public chain infrastructure. The NAGA Group is a leading publicly listed German fintech firm backed by Fossen Group and the German Stock Exchange. So that's a pretty big deal. We feel confident that together we can open up the international market, expand the Ontology ecosystem, and advance global blockchain development. So, really exciting and a great partnership for Ontology, and more bullish news. And then just another tweet happened a few days ago. Obviously there's good old Da Hongfei, and there was I would like to say a meetup, but meetup sounds like it's not very important, but basically had an expo at the European Parliament in Brussels, and of course Ontology was there in relation to Da Hongfei as well from Neo, and I think these projects that came and took part from the smart economy of Neo are the ones that you really want to look at. If you look down here, you've got Ontology, Next, City of Zion, which are the development team, of course Neo, and this project I actually spoke about yesterday, the Neo project called Moonlight. I'm going to put a link up now, actually a card up now, to that Neo review if you want to look into Neo and some of the ICOs that are coming up on Neo or that have been on Neo. Okay, so moving on. we're going to quickly look at the roadmap of Ontology Network. Just give you a quick overview here. It says Aristotle 2020, the next generation internet. The internet is the great infrastructure of our time. Yes, totally agree. It's changed lots of our lives. It has deeply supported and influenced our personal lives, businesses, and other aspects of our lives. We at Ontology think it would be hard to create an alternative to the internet in the next few years. The plan for the next generation internet is to use blockchain technology to enhance and improve some of the pain points of the internet. It continues, Ontology hopes to establish a blockchain trust zone within the internet based on Ontology's blockchain network and trust collaboration platform. In this area, people can carry out fast and automated identification and verification of all types of people, assets, things, affairs, information, and services. So, big ambitions, guys. They're looking to not necessarily reinvent the internet, but put a new layer on the internet and pop it onto the blockchain. And then once you've done that, you need to be able to verify these assets. If we're going to start selling our homes on the internet or via a smart contract or our cars, we need to be able to verify that we own it, right? I can't just go about and sell my ERC20 token house token. It's just not going to be sustainable, and it's just not going to work. So I'm going to leave this in the description as well. Come through this roadmap. It's very in depth and just shows you how much they've got on their plate and how much they're still going to achieve. Very excited. I think very cool. Okay, so as we said in the beginning of this, there's this little information update here regarding the circulating supply of Ontology. So I just got a quick article here. It is from March. I'm not certain though if this has been updated by the Ontology team, but it says your Ontology's ONT circulating supply of 53.75%, which is 537 million, refers to all ONT without lock periods. Okay, so ONT that can be transferred, but not necessary ONT that can be traded at the moment. Okay. For example, the community portion is unlocked, ready for distribution in upcoming events. Okay, so basically what they're saying is that roughly half of the circulating supply, total supply, is able to be moved, but not necessarily all of it is able to be traded. So the majority of the stuff that's being traded on the open market today is actually from the airdrop, community airdrop. So the community airdrop was roughly around 12%. It says giving back to the community is important for Ontology. This portion will be given back to the community through various events. Okay, institutional partners, of course, they do need to reward these guys for showing faith in their project, and of course have done that in the form of ONT tokens. The Neo Council, of course, has a slight portion. Ontology ecosystem development, of course, they need to keep some crypto to keep for long term, to use to develop the project and to pay wages and to build beautiful dApps and to help dApp teams. It says here Ontology will use this portion of the tokens to continue to build various application services, promote the ecosystem, and secure strategic cooperation for expanding Ontology's coverage and adoption. 12% is unlocked, and the remaining portion will be unlocked next year. Okay, so then I really like that, actually. It's happening more and more with really strong projects, is that they're locking up their tokens for a long period of time. I know Elastos has done something similar, and I think that just shows credibility, to be fair, and a long-term mind frame. And the guys that think long-term are the guys that are going to win in cryptocurrency. Well, that's my opinion. Anyways. 10% Ontology Technical Community Reward, 3.75% to the core team. Damn, they get the least out of everybody, and they've probably done all the work. Anyways, but that's basically how the tokens have been distributed. So keep this in mind, and I will leave this in the description for you guys as well if you want to touch on that. So that is pretty much Ontology. I just want to quickly pop back onto these three modules here that I promised I would. So these are the three main things that Ontology are going to offer to this next generation of the internet. So OntID, a complete distributed identity framework supporting identity verification and authentication of people, assets, objects, and affairs. As I've said, identity very important. Of course, identity is very important to put your name against an asset you own on a blockchain or on the internet. Okay, moving on to data, which is only going to get more and more important as we move basically all major institutions and banks and hospitals and all these things onto the blockchain one day. Data is going to be very important. So ONT data framework supports data cooperation and exchange of different things, data resource management, smart contract transactions, etc. So, this is very important to make sure you can keep data in a decentralized form, and of course build an exchange place for people to exchange data. And right now, when let's say you sign up for an app on your phone, it asks you all these thingamabobbies. It's like, yeah, can you give me your location? Can you give me this? Can you give me that? And you're like, sure, I want to use the app. Go ahead. And where's all this information stored? It's stored on a centralized service somewhere. And what do they do with that data? They flog it. They sell it. One day, it's not in one day, but soon, in the coming years, companies like that will actually have to pay you micro amount of money to get your data. That's the way I see it, is that in the future, companies will need to pay you, not a huge amount, obviously, maybe more for certain people because their data is more important, but I see that happening. Instead of us giving away things for free, we will be rewarded for sharing information. Lastly then, ONT scores. ONT scores provides supports for various businesses to develop different credit evaluation logic according to distributed credible data. Okay, so it's giving you, Ontology Network is providing a module for big business, as we've suggested, institutions, medical resources, hospitals, to be able to have a credit record on particular customers, clients, and the majority of the people that use their service. I'm not certain how they're going to do this, considering are they going to basically go through the smart contracts and look through what you've done over the last months and years when it comes to your wallets? I will need to dive a little bit deeper into the ONT scores, and I'm going to put my hand up and say that I haven't quite read the white paper part on that, but I will make sure I do that. So yeah, those are the three things you need to focus on right now in terms of what Ontology is going to bring long term. And remember, long term is the way you want to think in this game. Long term is the way you're going to make money in cryptocurrency. Okay, so as we always do, let's jump back onto the price for today, and let's do a quick speculative price prediction. Remember guys, this is not financial advice. This is my humble opinion. I'm a speculator myself. I'm a broker myself. And I really do enjoy talking about cryptocurrency, but please don't take my advice and buy cryptocurrency because I said it's great. Take what I've done in this review and other reviews I've done, digest it, go do your own, due diligence, and make a decision from there. Anyways, let's get that out the way. So, Ontology's seen an enormous rise over the last few months since its airdrop. Currently at around just under $10, market cap around $1 billion, volume around 244 million today, which is very, very, very healthy. And of course, it's got great partnerships, strategic partnerships with the likes of Neo, Onchain, and listing on big exchanges, and of course are very, very compliant when it comes to regulation, and have got something that could really supercharge the blockchain in the future, and that is identity on the blockchain. Okay, so beforehand I spoke with my business partners, and we did a little bit of number crunching here, and I'm going to say a estimate for us was, between $38 and $70. So I know that's quite a big range, but it's very hard to predict future price speculation or future price movements. But because I hold some Ontology and I will continue to hold it, my price point for 2018, where I'd like to see it, is a good old round number of $50. I don't think that's too far away. That's maybe it's 5x from now. That would make Ontology a 5 billion market cap, which is not unheard of, and I think is perfectly normal. So if you guys agree with me, what I'd like for you to do is to give me your price prediction and tell me how you justify that. You don't have to give me a long story, but just in the comments below, give me a price and tell me how you guys find your price. That way I can use that information as well for next time when I do another speculative price prediction. And then of course we'll also explain to you in the comments below how we come to our price predictions. It's not all down to science or math, it's a lot of fundamental stuff, but we also do use, of course, some data. So again, I'm Maximilian, your crypto broker. I've really enjoyed bringing you Ontology today. I hope some of this has been informative and you've enjoyed the content. Really, if you're new here, again, please do subscribe to the channel. We're really keen on bringing you a lot of great information almost every single day. If you already subscribed, thank you so much for joining us over the last month since we started this channel. It's been really, really exciting to see where it's gone. If you've enjoyed the content, give us a good old like now, because the likes really help us, guys, to be found. Google really loves interaction. So that's why I'm also asking for you guys to comment. I really want to build a really cool community here, and where we can all exchange ideas. And so if you've enjoyed it and you want to hear more in the future, subscribe, give us a good old like now to help us be found on Google, and in the comments below, go ahead and give us your price speculation for Ontology and why you think it could get to that place. And of course, any nice nuggets of information, maybe inside information, would be great as well. Thank you so much for listening again. I'm Maximilian, your crypto broker, and I shall see you guys again soon.